One of the neat things I've found about this particular setup, though it was heavily used years ago, now it's 2022, and not a whole lot is the same. A lot of the old Macs have been migrated over to the storage area, the display area, and I will say I miss them. I really miss the vintage technology, or the technology I used to use. Getting used to newer things is nice. You get a better picture, better audio, better screen, better resolutions, better color, but you kind of miss the old-fashioned artifacts, the grainy videos, the stuff that a bunch of people on Twitter or I can't remember the site, Twitch maybe. I don't know. People use video filters, and it just really doesn't capture the essence that old vintage or old hardware can capture. Well, this is one video of many. It's probably washed out as it gets, or as I get too much light on my face. But yeah, we've definitely come a long way with technology. I can tell just with this camera. This is about a mid-2000s webcam. That the quality is quite different. Where we were to where we are today. For example, I used a webcam similar to this. I don't think it was a megapixel, but it was something I used in the process of writing notes, capturing the endpoints of my day. I used to use a program from Microsoft called OneNote. Now, this program still exists today here in 2022, but when I used it, I was heavily using text-to-speech. I was heavily using, video clips, audio clips, all that kind of stuff during my school days to capture notes. And I translated those notes into documents that I then resold to other students. So it's interesting. I've been in front of a camera for a very long time for my own personal use, many, many retakes. Very rarely did I edit the video or otherwise cut it, chop it. Yeah, this is interesting. As I use this machine more and more, it's still a Windows XP machine. Not necessarily the way that I bought it, but it uses Windows XP. It has a wide variety of software installed in it, similar to what I used back then. Though this is a Dell laptop, the machine that I used to always use had a little webcam that got bolted on the top of it. It was a IBM ThinkPad. Wonderful machine. I miss it. I loved just about everything about it. The damn thing was bulletproof. But one thing it didn't have back then, even though I wish I could afford it, and I never was able to, it never had solid state storage. So I had a revolving door, if you will, of magnetic media. I always backed things up to zip disks. I always used MO disks, but it was really the hard drive that had about a year's worth of lifespan in it before I didn't trust it anymore. I used the rule, 3 to 10, as far as bad sectors went. The moment I got 3 bad sectors, it went out of the machine because I couldn't really rely on it because of its physical attributes. The way I used the laptop, it was never sitting at a desk. It was always mobile, always on the move. And I was worried at that time about, losing the data that was on that, losing classwork or stuff for a midterm or a test. I was more concerned about the data's integrity on that disk, that I continued to cycle those disks. Now, those disks did make it into other machines. Those disks also were part of my backup system, in which I constantly cycled media before they were ultimately wiped out and then resold on eBay as used media, or sold to friends as used media. Just because I didn't trust it didn't mean that it was bad. Now, when it got to 10 sectors bad in this whole process, then the media was destroyed physically. I never bothered to resell that, only because karma's a bitch. All through school, never had an issue. Even in my professional life, I continue to build a system that protects my stuff. Probably more so than the government. But yeah, it's just one of those things that has been an unwritten rule with me. When it gets unreliable, replace it. When it starts having one too many errors, replace it. Back in the days of this machine, back when it ran Windows XP, was always online up until support died. It was always out there, going to cafes. This one was going from client to client, back and forth, getting thrown into the back of the car or on the passenger seat. Hell, I think I even used this one for war driving. Yeah. Fun shit.